Hello, and welcome to the Dahlia World Gardens presentation of Seattle at Dawn, Book 8, Apocalyptical Ascension. I am our storyteller, Tim Dahlia. Thank you for joining us. If you are returning to the show, welcome back. If you are joining us now for the first time, thank you for checking us out. What you are about to watch is an actual play of Mage the Ascension, a tabletop role-playing game of horror and hope set in the world of darkness. It follows the lives of mortal mages living in and around Seattle on their quest for enlightenment. This session will be different than some of our others in that the events have unfolded in such a way that we are showcasing 8 brave mages played by my friends. Today, this special session is played with my friend Scot.
Hello, my name is Scot. I play Carl Weatherman, and since last time we played, I am now in a flying vehicle that looked like a helicopter. So, kind of being kind of new at playing, being in a mage, I'm kind of awestruck a little bit and just trying to get my bearings, making sure that we're not all dying in this big old whirlpool of death.
I mean, if you're in a flying car, you could fall at any moment, right?
Yes, that's my thought exactly.
Also in that car with you is Wim. How are you doing, Wim?
I'm Wim. I use he/him pronouns, and I'm playing as Vesper Watts. Also in the car, but it's not the weirdest thing we've seen. Keep a grappling hook handy in case it does fall out of the sky, but I'm sure we're in okay hands at least.
I would love to see Wim in some sort of Mission Impossible situation hanging off from the car as it flies around. Maybe we'll see that later. Also in the vehicle, flying this ridiculous thing, Scott Corprew.
I'm Scott. I'm playing Professor Lucas. This wonderful flying machine that you are in currently is Vicky, which stands for Vehicle Isometric Chronokinetic Interface. And she will not allow you to hit the ground. Don't worry. I also carry full liability.
Okay, perfect. So we can, make sure that all that is paid for. Okay. Oh, not in the vehicle is going to be Alix.
My name is Alix. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing Jezebel Spinner. And I just remembered that the last time we played, there was a vampire attack, and it was not fun. It was awesome because, we beat her, but, that's not the point. So, yeah.
She tried to eat you.
She did. She tried to have me for dinner, man. Not a fan.
Understood. Helping you in that situation, and also not in the vehicle, was Bryan.
What's up, beautiful people? I am Bryan D. Covington, and I will be playing Killian LeRoux, and I would happen to be there during that vampire attack, and the end was fun, but everything going up into that whole scenario was not very good, and the weather sucked. So anyway, looking forward to seeing what comes next this time around.
Far away from where Killian and Jezebel were attacked by a vampire, is Cindy.
Very, very far away, but we do have a visual on that flying helicar.
Yeah.
My name is Cindy, and I am playing Inea Blackwell. Nay is in a I want to call it a dirigible, guessing that's not what it actually is.
It's a Zeppelin. Kinda.
With cloaking technology, she knows way more about its existence now than she ever wanted to. And she has commandeered it to shepherd the homeless population from the camp that she happened to be in when stuff started falling out of the sky. So she's a little done with the world's
throwing shit at her. I am so thrilled that everyone so far has had a really good memory of their last time, even though it's been like a month since we played. Next up, let's introduce Sarah.
Well, I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready for that memory streak to end. I remember basically, but I never remember things. I play Lucia, and she is also in the Zeppelin, I believe. She was in the Zeppelin when things started falling out of the sky, and so she was glad to be able to see Inea, and also another friend.
Yeah, you found a few more friends in that regard. Speaking of our final friend, Seán, go ahead and introduce yourself.
If I can get my mic working.
You got it.
Hi, I'm Seán. I will be playing Rhenard Khan. My character was in this large flying machine that just picked up a bunch of people from a park. Yeah,
absolutely. Just avoiding the disasters. All right. Well, we got everybody introduced. Let us go ahead and begin here. As a reminder, this game draws inspiration from the darker, more sinister aspects of our lives and mythologies. Our story may contain mature themes, including, but not limited to, body horror, graphic violence, blood, death, mental illness, power imbalances, sexual themes, and social injustice. Please watch at your discretion, and remember to take a break if needed. We do use a system of lines and veils that ensure player safety, and I will respect them throughout the story. There will be dark moments, but the light of the awakened can bring hope in the gravest of circumstances. So, like this video and subscribe to the channel as we tell a Mage story. For the past few weeks, mysterious volumes of light have danced above the Seattle skyline and the surrounding Puget Sound area. Climate change, unusual solar wind activity, divine messaging, aliens, government experiments, elaborate pranks, and several other explanations have been posited. Nothing in the sleeper media has been able to fully explain what is happening. And then, the lights flared as debris from the sky fell into the near ocean and bay. The ground shook. At first it seemed the shocks were from the fallen meteorites, but the continued aftershocks suggest a more tectonic origin. Each of you were witness to the disasters and helped protect and rescue the citizens around you. Jezebel and Killian managed to herd many to the 4th Ward shelter. Though unfinished, it is empty, and Killian's consorts moved quickly to manage the unexpected guests. The famous Professor Lucas, driving Vicky, his flying car disguised as a rescue helicopter, picked up Vesper and Carl as they helped a busload of survivors escape and directed foot traffic away from the waterfront. Lucia and Rhenard were aboard the Society of Ether's mobile lab, Zeppelin 22, joining a team researching the Emerald Lights when the tsunami first hit. Mark Cardassian, again, no relation, directed the lab to assist Inea and the Bridge Trolls, which is the best nu metal pop fusion band of this decade, where they were able to take the population of a tent city into the spacious interior of Zeppelin 22. Beginning tonight, we are going to start with... Let's start with Lucia.
Well, okay.
Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
You are currently sitting in the lounge, or a lounge, because it's a rather big facility, of Zeppelin 22. The day has been chaotic, to put it mildly, and you feel a vibration of your cell phone alerting you to a text.
Sort of impressive that's still working.
Yes.
Who's it from?
You look down and you see that it is from Jerry Berrigan.
Oh. Interesting timing.
You recall your last meeting with him from a few days ago in his lush Bellevue office. You're brought in by Stacy, his personal assistant. She wears a conservative but form-fitting, sage-colored suit jacket. She has a sweet peach and honeysuckle aroma around her. The office, as you enter, has a wonderful view of the Bellevue high-rises and beyond. Behind the vista is Lake Washington. It is bright outside, but the tint on the windows brings out the shadows and dulls the sunlight. Standing up, Jerry quickly rounds the corner of his massive desk and greets you midway into the room. Oh, Lucia, my favorite influencer of the digital web.
Hello.
Hi. He goes to shake your hand and motions for you to take a seat at the desk. Stacy, bring me a Coke Zero, and what are you drinking these days, Lucia?
Oh, an iced tea would be nice.
I think we could accommodate that. Stacy steps away, right away, Mr. Berrigan. He walks over to the desk and he waits for you to sit in one of the seats near the oversized desk.
Certainly sit down.
After you sit, he takes his own seat in the chair behind this. It almost feels like he's intentionally raised the desk and his seat to be just ever so slightly higher than anybody else in the room. Lucia, thank you for meeting with me today. I'm very grateful that you are open to our assistance.
Well, certainly can't say no without hearing you out.
I appreciate that. I think that with the way that Instant Grace has blown up in recent months, you are clearly a star.
Oh, it's really not about me. It's just people getting in touch with their angels.
You're absolutely right. It is all about your message and your machines, and they are the cure to what ails this world. I think you already know that.
I certainly do.
So,
How can we help each other?
well, I think that we can certainly offer you assistance in getting as many eyes on your message and your vision. And all we would need is just a agreement about some sponsorships and some advertising. Nothing garish or anything like that. Good, wholesome products, and of course, just the knowledge that we're doing good in this world.
That can be very rewarding. Can we get a little more information, a few more details about what kind of advertisements? We have to be very protective of our audience, and we certainly don't want to step outside, endorse things that aren't in alignment.
I couldn't agree more. We have a list that you can go through, but is there any particular product that you are fond of using that you would not mind sharing with the rest of the world?
Oh. Product. I mean, I tend to use things that are homemade for the most part.
Well, as a crafter, I would imagine that you still find various components made by different companies, like Elmer's glue, for example, or anything like that. If there's a particular brand of circuitry or soldering iron or the like, I'm sure we can find a way to broker a deal between you and they.
Well, we can look at that. I'll go through my supplies. See if there's a brand or two that really does their stuff. I do have a local crystal supplier. I certainly wouldn't mind giving them some more exposure.
Yes, we can absolutely do that. We're not here to try and force anything on you. We're just here to help. And if this helps you and it helps the products that you already use, then I don't see why we would have any issues.
I agree. That sounds wonderful.
So yeah, if you are open to it, we can go over the paperwork, and if you sign with us today, you'll get all the support and financing that you would need to accomplish your vision.
That's quite a broad offer.
I believe in you. And don't get me wrong, I will also benefit from this. This is not a purely philanthropical deal. There's mutual benefit here. Stacy silently walks in and drops a glass of, Coke Zero and a glass of tea for you. You wanted iced tea, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was never a restaurant worker, so I have a terrible memory for drinks. But Stacy, she knows what you wanted, so she got that. And she quietly and with much practice seems to have just disappeared from the room.
Interesting. And this is who is texting me today? Oh, sorry.
Well, this is what happened in the past. You will be
Right.
texting you. So, the question is, did you accept this offer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
She'll take a closer look at it, of course, but
Yes, naturally. And Jerry, very kindly goes through and shows where the percentages are and where he wants, where he will be responsible for financing and brokering as a agent representing you to those organizations that you have listed as products that you prefer. And once you go through this, you enjoy your drink. He's very pleasant. He hasn't, he has a room full of bizarre, strange-looking artwork, and it's not weird. It's not your normal picture of flowers or anything like that. It's like strange masks and statues and a occasional picture of family members or whatever. So
Jerry has his own aesthetic. I can
he
appreciate that.
does. But bringing us back to the present, you look at your phone after remembering this brief moment. It says, checking on your well-being for my favorite influencer. How are you today? Do you need anything?
Huh. Do I need anything? Is Inea nearby? As I'm receiving this, I can't remember if she's in the lounge.
She's in the Zeppelin. She probably is around the lounge, kind of an observation deck area.
I would go find her and just say, did we? I know I should know this, but I've lost track. Do we have a plan for where we're taking everyone?
To be completely honest, I think we're having to wait to find out how the water's going to settle down and what buildings are going to burn down before we can set down. I don't think we have anywhere at the moment. I would have to check with Mark to be sure, but I think as long as we can stay in the air, it's better to wait to see how things shake out. Why do you ask?
Oh, I had someone very kindly ask if I'm okay and if I need anything, and I thought, I mean, maybe we could use a safe place to land or some food and supplies when we get there.
Wow, if that's the kind of thing your contact can offer, it would probably be amazing, but we should coordinate with Mark since it's his, well, I think it's his ship. Somebody he knows.
He brought me aboard, so yeah, I don't know beyond that.
Okay, so yeah, let's coordinate with Mark to be sure before we blow their cover any more than we already have.
Good idea.
Today is a mess.
It has been a very chaotic day.
Yeah. Let's go check with him.
I'm grateful to know you, Inea. You always have good answers. Help me figure out what to do next, because sometimes I just don't know.
I am... thank you. That makes me feel a whole lot better, because I'll tell you what, I'm making it up as I go. Let's go find Mark.
Okay.
And the two of you head off to speak with Mark and possibly the captain of the Zeppelin. It's Captain Surefire, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think anybody introduced us yet.
No, not yet.
It's been kind of chaos.
From there, we will transition to Jezebel and Killian. The lights of the city are dark, except for a few self-powered emergency lights flashing on buildings and towers. Everything has the faint illumination of the emerald lights above. The smell of ozone and sea breeze mixes with sulfur, presumably residual scent from Killian's incendiary round. You left your tag on the phone booth, Killian, and you're satisfied that it'll be seen by your intended audience if that audience is still alive. Jezebel, you're just starting to come down from the adrenaline rush of the attack. You helped bury the drained husk of Guy, one of Killian's security detail, and in this momentary pause, you recall the feral face of the young woman as she tried to bite and eat you. This is your second interaction with a vampire that you're aware of, and it was far more frightening this time than the first. Sitting outside after the burial, you and everyone around you starts feeling the ground begin to rumble again. And at this point, the aftershocks feel mundane, but then this grows, shaking more and more violently. And to the west, you hear a loud crack and the crumple of metal. The flashing lights of a nearby television/radio tower lurch and fall to the ground. The tower crashes, adding to the cacophony of noise, breaking the spooky silence of night. What do you do?
Ooh, baby.
Quick question. How's the weather?
It is clear. It was early. It was raining earlier in the day, but ever since, or even before the tsunamis started, it had cleared up.
Okay. Okay.
And around what time is it right now? Is
I'd
it still
say
dark?
It is now evening. April. It's roughly like 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock in that range.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I personally am kind of nosy. I want to make sure that no one was hit by that tower falling. Like, do we hear anyone like screaming, crying for help? Now, granted, I'm gonna be a little bit less willing to go and see if somebody needs help, because the last time we did, somebody tried to eat my fucking face. So let's not do that again.
Yeah, let's not split up.
No, let's not. That would be for the best.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Well, unless we hear more screams, it'd probably be best for us to return to the squat and figure out what our next move should be, because if I recall correctly, Cypher should be working on expanding the place, getting more of it functional, so that anyone else that comes in, we can take them in and be able to help them, versus packing them on top of each other, which could of course lead to frayed stress levels and whatnot. And we don't need any issues in the squad.
Yeah, your crew have been working pretty hard, double time, getting everything organized, but Siphon has it all under control. He is really adept at organizing groups and getting shit done.
Good to know. So yeah, I think we should be heading back, because I've already left the tag, and
I'm at this point assuming that you guys are already. I'm already assuming that you guys are at the shelter.
Okay, cool.
Because you're a varying guy.
I thought we were out there with
true.
the
You're just some random garden on the street. Like, here you go.
There you go.
Free compost.
We'll tell everybody he went to the farm. But but we still got Dan though. We still got Dan.
Dan is still with you. Yes.
I'm gonna have to, give that guy a promotion. He made it.
He did. And he did really well.
That is not how all your minions do. I mean, I hope that it doesn't happen where all your consorts just die wherever they're on a mission.
I know that would suck.
I mean, so far you're batting 1,000 for losing a consort for each time, but
yeah.
Speaking of, Amanda is also at the shelter.
Hey. Okay. So I want to approach Amanda and find out how she's doing in all this, and welcome her, of course.
Welcome how?
Welcome her to the squad. Hey.
Yeah, this is
you. Looks like you're in decent shape.
Yeah, all you're gonna do is end up, helping a few junkies, and they're gonna go back on the street. What are you truly doing here?
Look,
there's no rehabilitation.
You already know what it is I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
But overall, like I said, I think I've won you over a little bit, and you kind of understand that this isn't as futile as you think it is. The longer you're here, the more.
And I'll wait for orders.
And I don't want to put anything in it. But my whole thing is this: the longer you're here, the more you're gonna see that everything happens. It doesn't happen to any kind of a plan. The plan is what we make. And I think if you decide to work with me, more awesomeness can be done with you on my side than with you against me. And besides, I did everything I could to get back there for you. And whatever enlightenment that they feel, that you feel they have bestowed upon you, I'm not here to unravel it. I just want to give you another option and show you that might be a different way. That's all.
Well, thank you for your open-mindedness. I don't have anywhere to go right now, so yes, I will enjoy your coffee and I will stay here for the time
Hey,
being.
and if you need anything, of course, and if you have any questions or you just want to hear me talk, I got you, okay? Mm-hmm. Just while we're on the topic, is there anything that I could do that could possibly sway you to making this more of a permanent arrangement?
I am going to continue to reaching out to my handlers, and I will see if there is anything that I can do to help you. Right now, I'm going to stay in a holding pattern. No offense, but I think I'm just going to sit back.
I don't know. Play it safe. That's good, And on a more serious note, I can only offer you my most sincere apologies for what happened. Even though you think that it might be a good thing.
Yeah.
It was my my bad there. But we're gonna make it right, yeah? Yeah, you and me. I'm gonna let you drink your coffee. We'll talk later.
Thanks.
I head off.
Okay.
Probably
Man
get
does
some
not
coffee
have any
on
of
out.
your. Yeah, get some coffee. The earthquake does hit hard, and like I said, you see that tower crumble and fall, and it crashes loudly. The earthquake also set off a lot of little car alarms and the like, so not as quiet as it was before.
How are things looking in the street from where we can see? Are there people running around? Is there other people getting eaten? I mean, what's the story? What can we see from where we are?
It seems that most people are trying to stay indoors.
Okay.
You don't
That's
get a
good.
lot of looky-loos. Get some people that check out on their cars, or kind of every once in a while come out to look at the sky above. It's the initial crash of the tower has definitely brought a few people to look around and see what that was. But at this point, it's kind of hard since it's already fallen to see. They do notice that instead of the 3 normal towers, there's only 2 from this distance. It's a few blocks away.
Would I have it amongst my resources to have a drone?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to fly a drone out and see what we can find out about those other 2 towers. First, the one that just fell, but then at least one of the other 2 to see if there's any activity around them, because it could be a means of or a tactic of cutting communications to the masses.
Yeah, absolutely. Was this a drone that you had constructed yourself, or one that you just happened to have, like you bought from Best Buy?
Likely it's something that I had made in-house. I mean, I got a lot of different talents up in the organization.
Okay.
You can't trust technology that we didn't make ourselves.
Understood. It's a pretty mundane use. Go ahead and roll your Arete difficulty 4.
All right. Bear with me, guys.
No worries.
All right. Arete difficulty 4.
There we go.
I can't see anything.
All right. 2 successes. I see it all.
Beautiful.
All right. 2 successes. It is very easy. The drone lifts off. You've got a pair of VR goggles that are attached to it, and you can kind of see through the eyes of this drone. You fly it towards the 3 towers, with the one that has crashed, And given the extra sensory perceptions that this drone has, you swear you see like an old school Zeppelin flying towards the tower.
Towards the tower? Okay.
The three towers are around a television station just a few blocks away from the shelter.
Is it towards the down tower or towards one of the two standing?
They're all in the same area.
Oh, okay.
They virtually like take up a corner of a block each.
Okay. All right. First off, seeing a Zeppelin out and all, and you know everything that's going on is curious. Are there any markings on it that are identifiable?
Go ahead and give me a perception and let's just say perception and occult.
Yay.
Difficulty 6.
Number of dice, perception, and occult. That's 1. Okay, that's 6. Nice. Oop. Difficulty what?
6.
6. Did I do it?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
And a rolling error, but no worries. So you just build one of the buttons, like where your dodge roll is, or where it is.
Difficulty 6.
Just that.
How's that?
Well, that was still 6. So that's 2 successes. 2 successes on a mundane roll. That's you see a couple of different symbols, mostly like code letters and numbers, but you do see one specific symbol that you've seen before. It is definitely the Society of Ether logo badge that they use. It's it looks like it got some crisscrossing arrows and kind of what is that? It's hard to describe because it's really weird. But yeah, it kind of looks like a weird mechanical angel in a geometric design. I guess is kind of the better way of describing it.
Okay. All right, I'll go check what else I can see on the 2 that are still standing. Can I get any closer, or do I have to worry about drawing attention?
You're a flying drone, but it's a pretty small device, and you've made it so it doesn't sound as loud as normal drones. Plus, you're assuming that there's other sounds going on in this area. When you fly up towards the 2 standing towers and the Zeppelin is flying towards them, you see the crashed tower has hit a apartment building, and you can kind of see into that apartment building as well.
I'm assuming that there's injured people. Ooh, do I have like a heat what's it called? Not heat vision, but you know, yeah, infrared. Do I have that as an option? Or can I just?
It would be built into the senses that you have in here. Your forces would have allowed that vision.
All right, I want to see what.
Indeed.
If we have any survivors.
There are bodies of people. You can see that some normal heat signatures from people that would be in the building. But then you also see, at that moment, a large flare on the roof that blinds out your sensors.
It wasn't shot at the drone, it was just shot into the air.
It looks like there was just something very hot that flashed up and caused the sensors to short out.
All right, I'll have the drone return, and I'll relay that information to the group. Just the main ones, like, you know, the ones, everyone I've been traveling with, because I feel like, you know, we're pretty much the ones making the decisions for the benefit of the squad right now.
So Jezebel and Siphon and you are kind of that core. Amnesia's just kind of helping with making decent tasting coffee.
Also very helpful.
Yeah, seems to be your specialty.
So what are you guys thinking? Should we get involved? Should we try to investigate? Should we just stay put? Staying put would be, I guess, the safest, but it's not really going to help them.
I mean, I personally am nosy. I do want to see what's what. Plus that whatever the hell it was that blinded your sensors, that might be something worth looking into. If we can't see it through the drone, then maybe we can get actual eyes on it. Whatever it is.
True that. But remember the last time we went out?
What?
It wasn't exactly
Last
the kind
time
of
we
party
went
we were
out-
looking for.
Last time we went out, there was a vampire. But this time, there's a Zeppelin for some reason. And that is very curious.
All right, we want to do some I want to do some perception rolls. If we decide to go out, which we still need to decide, I want to do some perception rolls all along the way, because yeah, I can't be letting this kind of undead attack happen more than once. Even though Dan is now a seasoned scout, since he's the first to come back.
I think we can handle it. So if you guys want to go and check that out, we can hold things down here.
All right, Jez, you up for this?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right. I do a quick check. I want to put on a couple of things. I think strategy is something I can do. I'm gonna go to my office to do these, so I don't draw a lot of attention to myself.
I mean, that's
I need less of that.
Hmm?
I need less of that, having drawn attention to myself.
Of course. So, what are you doing?
All right, I want to set up strategy that'll help me by lowering the difficulty of the successes that I need by one. Then show that there's any cost. So I think that's one that I can keep on, but otherwise,
Okay.
I want to make sure I have some healing runes set too, and have them on my person, so that if anyone gets jacked up, including myself, I can attend to that quickly.
Okay. I would say you don't have a whole lot of time to do any real ritualized casting, so I would allow one roll on strategy and one roll on the healing runes.
Okay. And that'd be Hegarty, right?
So yeah, with strategy, it's going to be Hegarty plus 3. That was my bad. I rolled that for you. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. Unless it sucked, then we got to do it again.
But no, Hegarty plus 3, difficulty 5.
Let's see. So plus 3. That's the DP mod?
The DP mod is 3. That's correct.
Okay. Difficulty 5. Oop.
4. 5 successes. Cool. All right, that will give you a plus or -5 to difficulty.
Oh wow.
In the future, you can divide that up into different attacks as well, but you've got a pool of 5 negatives to assist when you do attacks in the area that your drone was observing.
Gotcha.
And then you wanted to do like a healing rune ability that you had.
Right.
Yeah,
And
healer rune.
let's see.
So that's going to be the same. It's going to be Hegarty plus 3. Right. Yeah. Hegarty plus 3, difficulty 5. Seven successes on that, even better. Cindy, you might want to take his dice now.
We'll just have you, Bryan. You roll for everybody, and it'll
Roll
all
for
be fine.
everybody.
Yeah, you just take care of the rolling tonight.
Tonight's
So
a
the
good
two of
night.
you,
It's
there any-
usually Billy that we stick that on, but you get it tonight.
Jezebel,
Hopefully it
is there
holds.
anything that you wanted to do to prepare?
I want to do a Discord voice chat for me, Bryan, and Siphon. So that way we can communicate telepathically.
Well, Siphon's not going to be in sight, so
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So just me and Killian.
yeah, absolutely. You can set that up. Easy.
Yeah.
enough.
Hegarty plus 9. What is the wait a minute? The difficulty, the base difficulty is 3, right?
Correct. The difficulty is the number of successes is going to be 4, I believe.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just the two of you.
DP mod 3.
Yeah. So Hegarty plus 3, difficulty 3.
That'll do it.
Yeah, 7 successes will do that. Easy peasy. So, Killian, you hear Jezebel speak up in your head.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
How'd you do that without moving your lips?
How did you
Oh,
do
yeah.
that without moving your lips?
That is pretty impressive.
So the two of you, there's a couple of pay-as-you-go scooters near the shelter, as they are all around Seattle. That would help your journey if you wanted to take those.
Oh yeah. Over. I don't know how safe it is to ride a pay-as-you-go scooter in the middle of an earthquake-ish area, but we're gonna go for it. Why not?
They got
I'll make
fat
sure you don't
tires.
run out of credits, but I can't say about charge for the vehicle. Do I sense or can I do sense magic to see if there's like any unsavory magical workings on any of this stuff?
You don't see any. I assume you have your, various site routes going. So
I would think so.
you don't detect anything nefarious or even particularly magical about.
Okay,
this person.
okay. Good deal. All right, let's rock.
That's right. So you guys jump on. You scoot towards the fallen tower, and then we move to our next group. Same group here. Inea, Lucia, and Rhenard. The sound of an explosion catches the crew of Zeppelin 22 off guard. Inea, Rhenard, and Lucia, you rush to the windows in the observation deck lounge that you're in, and you see a fire exploding on the roof of an apartment building. The movement of the fire seems unnatural, and you quickly assess that it's bigger on the other side of the gauntlet. It takes you a few moments before you even see that there is a fallen red and white comm tower crumpled over the surrounding buildings and partially exposing the interior of the apartments. Mark walks up behind you, pressing hang up on his cell phone. It's like, well, that was Mrs. Newell, and she says in their neck of the woods, as she puts it, they haven't had any problems with tsunamis or earthquakes, but she did say that Charlie was going to the beach earlier. So she's a bit panicked, and quite frankly, I did my best to calm her down, but I'm not the best to confer on that front. He looks outside at the fire and says, oh, why do I feel like tonight's not over?
Say no, it doesn't seem to be. So Nay always has spirit sight up, so she's obviously well aware that the gauntlet has been crossed by this whatever the hell just exploded. Can I tell if it originated on the other side or on our side?
You can't. It looks like it is just existing on both sides, as many things do. But you can see that it is definitely gaining strength out, on the other side.
Can we tell what the source of it is?
It seems to be its own source.
So it's just a flame that's burning on its own.
At this distance, that's what it appears to be, yes.
That's highly unusual.
Yeah, what is our altitude? How high are we right now?
Not high. You're probably just high enough to clear some of the mid-sized buildings on the more eastern side of Seattle.
So give or take around 100 feet. That's actually pretty low.
Mm-hmm. But unlike an airplane, Zeppelins can do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that depends on whose laws you're following, but yes, they can do that. Does it look like there's anybody down there that needs assistance? Can we see, like you said, it exposed some apartments and stuff. Is there anybody visible that looking for help?
Yeah, it's kind of a 3-story building. The corner of this has been clipped. There's other buildings nearby also that have been crushed under this antenna. The inside the building, it's really hard to tell because you are kind of at a distance, but you can see what looks like, the darkened interiors of the apartment buildings. I think one of them, like on the second floor, you see that there's a dog barking. There's a couple of people that seem to be rushing out of the buildings from various exits. And then, of course, there's the fire that is on the roof now.
Is this on the roof of the apartment building, or is it like across? Okay, it is the roof of the apartment building.
Mark, where's the captain? Do we have headlights?
Spotlights? Anything?
Spotlights. Yeah, at that point, Mark's like, yeah, we should be able to get some lights on there. He grabs one of the crewmen that are kind of moving around. He's like, hey, could you get some lights on that building over there so we can see what's going on? He's like, yes, sir. And he runs off somewhere. A couple moments pass and you see these large spotlights just kind of bathe the area in very bright white light. And you do see that there are definitely more people than you thought. There was people leaving the buildings and escaping, but you also could see into the one building that's been cracked open. Sorry. And there does seem to be like a few people either mulling around, and definitely some people seemingly not moving, unconscious on the ground in that area.
The ground, though.
In the building. Sorry.
Oh, on the floor inside
on
the
floor.
building.
Sorry. Yeah, on the
Gotcha.
floor. It's
Okay.
probably better.
Okay, Mark, is there anything? Maybe we need the captain to have a look, but is there anything that we can do for these people? I don't imagine emergency services can get to them right now.
I mean, right now, I guess we're the emergency services. And
Okay.
as he
You're
says
not
that
wrong.
to you, you hear over the intercom Captain Surefire yelling, "Everyone hold on! Evasive maneuvers! Hard to port!"
Shit!
The Zeppelin twists, making it hard for you to keep your footing. And from the right, behind the mobile lab, weaving between the two standing comm towers, the rescue helicopter zooms past. Its form wavers, and behind the illusion, a gray station wagon slows and hovers near the apartment building. A man can be seen opening a hatch on the roof of the car and throws, as best you can tell, a hula hoop at the fire and seems to snare whatever it truly is.
Wow.
And from inside the plush interior of Vicky, Carl and Vesper, you feel the press of inertia as she pushes past the standing communications tower towards the strange fire you witnessed earlier. The professor moves to the back of this remarkable vehicle and rummages through a pile of equipment before freeing the hula hoop. He taps it and makes a few adjustments before opening the hatch on the ceiling. You expect to see rotating helicopter blades, but are relieved to see just the unobstructed glowing emerald lights and the night sky. Professor Lucas stands in the hatch of Vicky as she approaches the extra-dimensional entity, and he throws the strange device as it lets out a primal, angry scream. What are you three now doing?
Good news. I hit it. Bad news. I don't think he liked it.
I'll take that both as good news. If he didn't like it, that means that we did something good.
Absolutely.
This is not my wheelhouse. I just have this gun, as you can see, so just feel free to tell me what to do.
First thing I want to do is I want to see if the creature is being manipulated. So I want to sense a connection.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, give me an Hegarty roll. This is just using your spirit senses, so it's gonna be coincidental. But what practice do you put together to look into potential connections, correspondences, and spiritual connections?
Well, what they see is they see me pull out my cell phone, but you see me kind of do this like little dance or whatever to heighten my senses so that I can be able to tell what's going on.
You're doing sense connection, so this is going to be Hegarty +1, or whatever your correspondence is. Hegarty +2.
Okay, so that's my DP mod is 2.
Correct.
Ooh, not 22. And the difficulty of 6?
Difficulty 4.
4.
Oh, right. Yes. 6 successes. You see, as you've gotten closer, you see that at the heart of this fire seems to be, it looks like the silhouette of a woman. You're not quite sure, but you can see that there is a spiritual connection, almost like a tether, between this thing, this fire that's, consuming the building, and the woman silhouette, and the larger fire in the umbra, and this tether going into the building, down into one of the basement apartments. You can't quite see that far. There's obstruction and all that, but you can see that tether seems to be going down into that direction.
Well, immediately, I tell everybody, I said, it looks like this creature or whatever is being tethered to somebody who's deeper inside the building.
We can go inside the building. If you and me want to go and look at that, and then, Professor, if you want to keep it in somewhat type of control up here.
The professor looks back over at him, then looks back at you, and sure, I can come up with something.
I want to grab him and then hook my grappling hook on somewhere in the car, and just try to propel us down. All
right. You grab a hold of Carl, and you're going to repel from the vehicle.
Yeah, with Carl's consent, of course.
Of course.
Okay, this is going to be a challenge, I guess. Let's see. Let me take a look here.
When you have a minute, Tim, Inea would like to know how much of this she's really able to see in the floodlights from the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Does she recognize the two people dangling out of the flying car?
When we get there, absolutely, I will allow that. So, first, let's see. Vesper and Carl. I'm gonna say, how are you holding and carrying Carl down? Or are you, repelling? Because you're gonna have that one cable. It's gonna require something from both of you here.
I want to kind of grab him and then take like one arm each, and then kind of wrap the top of it loosely around it, so we have like a little bit to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the other hand, like kind of like around him, and then with the opposite hands there, and then hold on to the gun kind of in the middle. So in worst case, it's kind of like between us. We could try to grab it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm holding on for dear life. I've never done this before.
I'm gonna say.
Poor Carl. He gets this a lot.
Vesper, with this, let's make it a dexterity and athletics check. And we'll say for Carl, we'll make it a strength and athletics. Difficulty for Carl is going to be 5. Difficulty for Vesper is going to be 7. And while you guys roll that, I think I'm going to take a quick break. So hold on for a moment. We'll pick back up in a moment.
We're good.
And I have returned, and I will look at your dice. Let's see. Vesper with 2 successes, Carl with 2 successes. Not bad. All right, yeah. Collectively, you guys manage to hang on to one another as you dip into, the car kind of hovers and sways, and there's definitely some headwinds in the area, but you manage to drop onto the top of the building without any injuries, or it was a decent landing. Inea, go ahead and roll perception and alertness.
What? Perception and alertness.
Yes.
This is assuming I can locate these two things. There they are. Okay. No DP mod. Difficulty.
No. Difficulty 6. Hey.
I have 2
2
successes.
successes. So you definitely recognize the himbo that is Vesper Watts and the young dream speaker holding on to him as they barely land on the top of the building, but make a clean enough landing to progress with their mission to enter the building.
Son of a bitch, I know those two. Okay, so next question. Can I tell that this is a fire spirit of some kind that's going on down there? What am I actually getting from the flame action here?
Let me see. I would have you roll your intelligence and occult makes sense. Or no, esoteric. No, more occult. Yeah, intelligence and occult. Difficulty 8.
Ouch.
Unfortunately, this is something while you deal with spirits on the daily, this is something that, while it does seem to be elemental in some regards, it is completely different than anything you've ever experienced before. Nor have you any recollection of something like it in your previous research.
I will be honest, Inea has probably avoided all things fire related.
I mean, that's fair. It's at this point that the Zeppelin is now starting to creep closer to the building. Professor Lucas, you recognize it. You just had Vicky docked here a day or two ago.
The Zeppelin coming overhead.
Mm-hmm. And you know the captain. Captain Surefire is somebody that you've known for a few years now.
Physically, how far apart are we?
You're now probably about 25, 30 feet apart as it creeps closer to the building.
Since I'm on top of Vicky right now, I just sort of wave and then give a salute to the pilot.
Captain Surefire salutes back, and those inside the Zeppelin, you can hear the crew hoot and cheer for Professor Lucas.
Mark, I gotta get down there.
Yeah, Carl's down there. What the fuck is Carl doing down there?
Just know everyone.
You know what? It has been a hell of a year. I cannot even.
Can we land? Is there space?
I can get you down there. That's not a problem.
Okay. Khan, where is Khan?
He's in the inner workings of the Zeppelin with the Tent City inhabitants.
Mark, could you let Khan know that I am taking leave of my senses and going down there? And he's got the Tent City denizens.
Yeah. All right. Absolutely. But let's get you down there first. Is it just you, or you gonna bring anybody else?
That is entirely up to anybody else who wants to get involved. I have to get down there. I know those two, and I gotta have their back.
All right,
I
right
don't
on.
see any reason not to. I mean, we're pretty far from the water.
Yeah, we were, as I recall, we were headed inland, weren't we?
Yeah. You're more on the east side of I-5 at this point.
Have we gotten to that building? Can we see them getting down?
Yes, I would say, while you can't pick out who came out of that car, now that you see there's a flying car now, Jezzy. It's not just, like
Helicopter anymore.
once the Zeppelin was pointed out, and now you see that there's a tiny like Chevrolet Cavalier flying in the air. It's not the strangest thing you've seen.
You're right. It's not.
Mark puts his hands out. He's like, all right, grab on, whoever wants to come.
Hey, get a hold of him.
All right, he grasps your arm.
I'll go.
He grabs Lucia.
This is going to feel strange, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, hold on to your butts. And you've walked through the doors that he has teleported through, but this is immediate, and you feel yourself kind of inverse and suck and pucker in to, as a physical being, into a single spot, and then you grow instantly on top of the building, standing next to Carl and Vesper. He's taking Paradox for that, by the way.
Yeah, that was pretty out in the middle of everything.
That was an act of will.
Yeah.
I mean, things are falling from the sky. Chevys are flying around.
There are Zeppelins and Chevys in the sky. Yeah,
It's
Carl!
a weird day.
Vesper!
Oh, Jesus Christ, where the fuck did you come from? Oh, God. Hi.
And then
Hi,
Mark
how's it
disappears back to the Zeppelin.
That one's gone. Hi, nice to see you again. New person?
I guess
Hello.
that's better than repelling.
This is Lucia. Lucia, Carl, Vesper. We have people to clear out of this building.
Yeah. And I just noticed earlier while we were up in the car that this is not natural. It's tethered to someone downstairs.
Someone as in they are deliberately blowing shit up or feeding on them.
It looks like they're actually like making it.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. Do we start there or do we start clearing the building?
Can always tag team it. One of us go straight down, and then the other one start clearing the building and come down after?
From the other side, the fire, you hear a woman scream, "I'm gonna destroy all you monkeys!"
We're gonna start there.
I think we're gonna start there.
We'll start there. I think that one's the attention grabber.
I think that's where we're gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna pull my spirit enchanted knife. But that's being held low because I'm not sure what I'm dealing with yet. I'm just preparing.
Okay. So we got the four of you on the roof. We've got Professor Lucas and Vicky, and we've got Rhenard on Zeppelin 22. What are you looking at and doing at this moment, Rhenard?
That's a good question. I figure somebody needs to be making some kind of. That doesn't sound like a good time for this. The way I figure it, helping the crew and just kind of. Rhenard is not the type of person to put themselves in harm's way without a really, really good reason as they see it. And so he's gonna stay up here and help out.
Okay. Yeah, so you use your leadership skills. I'd say go ahead and roll manipulation and leadership. See if you can help keep the crew working well. We'll give it a difficulty 7.
All right. See if I can remember how to do this.
You got this.
Okay. Wait, no, that's not right. Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me how to.
Yeah. So at the top you've got die pool 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you click on the gear. That'll give you the option to add.
That's what I was missing. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, add manipulation and leadership.
Yeah, I gotcha. And what difficulty did you say?
7.
7.
Things are a little chaotic.
Leadership.
I think at this point we can just take total chaos as the general background for all of us.
That seems to be the flavor of the day.
Oof.
We end up. Ooh, yeah. Unfortunately, you try to your best to help out and get involved with the crew and try and tell them that, you know, hey, the best angle of attack is going to be here and this, and they try listening, but they end up just making things worse, and the ship does lurch and actually, you know, the bottom part of it kind of nicks the building.
That's not great.
No, it is not. But this is a durable ship. It can take a few hits here and there. Self-inflicted wounds, though, we'll see. Anything else that you are trying to do on the Zeppelin while the chaos of something outside it ensues?
Tell me if this is outside the purview of what I can do, but Rhenard rather, is very curious about this fire from, he's gotten the impression that there's some kind of occult something involved in this, but that's not really his bag. So he's curious about it from a scientific perspective.
Okay.
Would there be any benefit, or would he be able to potentially learn anything about this, if he were to put his scientific mind towards this? If the answer is no, that's fine.
I'd say I would allow like a roll of intelligence and occult, and have it a really high, like a difficulty 9.
I mean, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
so 0 successes, not
0
necessarily
successes.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, high difficulty, definitely. It's certainly possible you may have come across something, but it doesn't. To your recollection, you haven't seen anything quite like that.
Well, all right.
As you're trying to like study, you know, the sensor readings and figure out what this may be, other than an earthquake gone horribly wrong, as if they ever go right. Jezebel and Killian, you are coming across this you're coming towards the base of the tower that has fallen, and nearby is a series of buildings that have been struck by the tower, and there are people starting to stream out as the emergency exit lights and everything for the apartment buildings inform them to leave. And you're coming across the people. Above you, a Zeppelin nicks the building, knocking some bricks down to the ground, and there's a hovering station wagon as well.
All right, in this situation, they're like by people hanging from the edge of the building, or is there anybody running around on fire? I mean, is there like gore and terror, or is just this giant Zeppelin flying haphazardly? Do we see somebody hanging off of that? I mean,
you saw two people rappel out of the car.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we see it's a car.
You saw the car. You saw the two people rappel out of it, and you can't see what's going on the top of the building at this point. But as you approach it, everybody's leaving the building, and you do hear, "I'm going to kill all you monkeys!" It echoes through the valley of buildings.
Fun. All right, so I guess that's cause to ready weaponry. So I get the gats ready and start going into the building to make our way up to the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Are you both going up towards the roof?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like sort of ushering people out on our way. Like, hey, go out that way, out that way.
Yeah, so for both of you, go ahead and give me a strength and athletics, difficulty 4.
Oh no! Strength and athletics.
Yeah.
I have literally nothing. Okay, not nothing, but still.
2. Oh man. Okay, 3. I got 3. Let's do this.
Hey, what's
Okay. That's a surprise, because I'm not strong.
3 success. Yeah, okay.
It's the adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline.
What did we get from Bryan here? You got, was that 3 successes?
Did it show?
Okay. All right, yeah, I'll see that. Yeah, so both of you, while it isn't the easiest to kind of deal with a crowd that's trying to rush out of a building, it's not too terrible. It's not like the movie theater from several months ago.
God.
That was a wave of people. This, yeah, there's a few people coming in and out of the building, trying to leave the building. You get up the stairs, it takes you some time. We'll have that be a round or two after what's dealing with the 4 that are on the roof. What are the 4 of you that are currently on the roof? Actually, before I get to you, Professor Lucas, you are hovering above. You have a special device that you have flung onto this fire that's keeping the fire. How are you continuing with this lasso maneuver?
Well, the lasso maneuver was an end game to itself that I hadn't really gotten to the point of actually having it work. So now what I want to do is I just want to distract it. I've got it immobilized as far as I can tell for now. Now I want to get its attention. So what I do is I slide down the windshield. And the great thing about my car is I can pop the hood from whatever direction I want.
Of course. Multi-hinge, all 4 edges and the corners.
Honestly, probably as some Chevy Cavaliers do right now. I pop open the hood and I go immediately. Now, it's complicated, but there's a few moving parts in here that just aren't to spec. They're not Mopar. But I go immediately to the coolant system. And I tell Vicky that I promise that I will make this up. And I pull the containment for the coolant system and basically push it right through the front grille of the car, so the coolant begins to spray out.
Okay, yeah. Let us see what that's going to look like in terms of a roll. Okay. Let's have you roll your Hegarty. This is going to be difficulty 5. And the number of successes here is going to lower the difficulty for the engineering of this. There we go. Wow, that's a lot of successes. That's more than I think you even have dice to roll, right? Yeah. So go ahead and redo that, but just the Hegarty button at the top underneath the gear.
Yep. Hegarty?
Yeah. And DP mod 0, difficulty 5. I think that's where we got the numbers mixed up. Okay, those are the 5 dice, yeah. But no successes. All right, doesn't change too much because you're doing more of an engineering feat here. So next roll is going to be your is Vicky? Yeah, Vicky is hypertech, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and roll your I'm gonna mix this. I'm gonna say dexterity plus hypertech. You're gonna have to physically get this into the right spot.
This is potentially the most exciting way of getting us all in the same locale that you've used thus far.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, all it took was an earthquake and a tower falling over. No big deal.
Well, plus, we've got tsunami
and the Zeppelin and the car and the
meteors
vroom
falling out of the
scooters.
sky. Yeah,
I mean,
And
he
all
ran
of
with
this
the
on
bare
a back-
minimum, but that's okay.
yeah.
You could have just plonked us all in like a building somewhere, but no, here we are.
No, we have the end of the world as we know it.
Journey's part of the
I'm not
adventure.
sure how to apply a roll to hypertech.
I'm sorry. Extra ability or extra skill 2.
Extra skill 2.
I'm sorry, I forgot that was not on the regular list. Oh, 3 successes. Lovely. So, you, while not getting any divine or etheric inspiration, you managed to take the components of the vehicle and get a basic cold front, so to speak, working from the grill. And now what would you like to do with Vicky?
Is there any visible effect from that action?
You do see that there's definitely like a wave that's coming out of the front. You're able to see that there is definitely something coming out. It's hard to to judge, it doesn't seem like a spray or anything like that, but you do see that there's definitely a temperature differential.
Let's get closer to it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna jump back inside and.
The adventurous Professor Lucas jumps back into Vicky, taking the helm and flies the vehicle towards the physical fire that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, so you move down there, you start hovering towards her. Now, everyone on the roof, you see Vicky and Professor Lucas are beginning to move towards the physical fire on the roof. What are the rest of you doing now?
Carl knows where it is, right? You see the tether. You want to lead?
Well, since I want to follow what the tether that I saw.
Okay, so you're gonna go following the tether. Vesper, what are you doing?
Following Carl, following the tether.
Following Carl, following the tether. Inea,
Okay.
what are you doing?
The voice came from, you said, the other side of the fire.
It came
where we're
from the
standing?
direction of the fire, yeah.
Nae's gone into hunting mode here a little bit. She is going to... She wants to keep the guys in view, but is also trying to circle around the fire to see if she can get eyeballs on the source of that voice.
Okay. So you're gonna try and position yourself for observation?
Well, I want to get eyes on first, so I know what I'm dealing with. Who, what
Okay,
thing
course.
I'm dealing with. And I assume that they're headed probably for some kind of roof access down into the building.
There is a part of the building that's been cracked open and exposed, and the tether that Carl sees is kind of streaming down from that.
Down
into
the damage on the building.
Right.
That's going to be exciting. Okay. All right. I just want to wait till I have eyes on the source of that voice, because it did not sound pleasant.
Okay. And Lucia, what are you up to?
A good question. I think rather than following the people she doesn't know, Lucia's gonna stay with Inea and watch this flying car and the incredible devices that keep coming from it, and just try to be ready to help Inea or
there is so
whoever's
much
up
of
there.
a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on.
Yes. Okay, so with that order of operations in my head here, let me just... pull up more character sheets. There we go. All right, so, yes, Professor Lucas, go ahead and give me a dexterity plus drive. Unless you have like a, actually, yeah, dexterity and drive. I don't see any type of piloting here.
No.
All right, what did you get here? Oh, 3 successes. Excellent. 3, and they're gonna roll. All right, so you have the hula hoop trying to keep this, whatever this weird fiery entity is, in place, and you maneuver Vicky, and you get the front of the vehicle in space, and you just kind of roll past it, and you weren't able to apply any etheric effects to this, but the regular damage from the grill does strike this entity, and you hear the scream similar to before, but this time even more vocalized. And filthy apes, 3,000 years in servitude, and I can't handle it anymore. I'm gonna destroy you all. And
Inea's lacking occult knowledge kicks in, and she's, is this an Ifrit?
And Carl, you are now leading, running towards the opening in the building. You have to run past this entity that is flailing about in both the physical and metaphysical worlds. I'm gonna have you guys just try and bolt right through and not get damaged from the emanating heat as you run and try and slide into the crevices of the building. So both of you, if you could, please roll your dexterity and athletics again. This time the difficulty for both of you is going to be 7.
Dexterity, athletics, difficulty 7. Oh.
Okay. Vesper, you, with the training of your military background and the NWO, you run, duck, slide, narrowly avoid what seems to be a tendril of fire and slip down the crevice. Meanwhile, Carl, you, not so well trained, find yourself slapped in the chest with just this immense sense of heat and anger and rage, and physical fire. You take 4 points of lethal damage as you are tripped, and you not only are hit in the chest with this, but you kind of fall next to Vesper on the next floor down.
Ouch.
Okay, you point me where to go, but I'll stand in front.
Okay, that'll work. So, I just hopefully I can get up.
Yeah. You see this shadowy tendril again, still going further down into the building. It's going to be treacherous goings, but you're not going to have as much difficulty getting past anything.
Yeah,
Only one way to go. Going down.
Going down.
Now that Carl's injured, just kind of using the grappling hook to release, gently get him down.
Just more secure. Yeah, that'll give you an advantage on the way. Inea, you, having positioned yourself at one of the ceiling air vents, you kind of duck behind. You can see this fiery creature, but as you've now gotten closer and you've attuned your senses, you see silhouette of a woman bathed in flames, wide yellow eyes, bright red lips, and her skin seems to be dark obsidian, maybe scales. You're having a hard time kind of figuring out exactly what she is, but she seems to be very angry and lashing out. What are you doing?
Now that I'm closer, I know there's a connection to something somewhere. Can I see that tether?
With your general senses, I would say yes, you can. You have that spirit sight that allows you to see those connections, and that's easy enough for you.
Okay. I would like to utilize Spirit Shield. I have to go back and look at that again.
Yeah.
On myself and Lucia.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to be using spirit or forces, or both?
In this situation, I think both is the only answer.
Okay.
Because we have both heat and apparently some form of elemental, spiritual, some crazy bullshit happening. I am suspecting that this is an Ifrit, and that ain't good. Okay, so I need to... I seriously was just looking at it and I can't remember. I am rolling Arete plus forces and spirit.
It's just going to be your spirit, but you're adding forces to it, so that's no.
So, and
it's
that's
not a big deal. Just
okay. So.
Yeah, I'm double checking myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, just add Arete plus spirit, so 3, and difficulty is going to be 5. It's going to require 2 successes to get both the effects, or sorry, 3 successes instead of 2, but you'll be fine.
Okay, so my DP mod is going to be my forces, which is 2, correct?
Your spirit. DP mod is going to be 3.
Okay, but I'm also using forces, so am I adding a total of 5?
No. You're just adding the 3.
Am I using my Arete button, or how am I doing this?
Use your Arete button, DP mod 3, difficulty 5. It's and you're going to require more successes than 2. It's going to require 3 because you're adding forces.
Okay.
So it's basically the same. It's just the required successes goes up by 1.
Difficulty goes up. Okay. Or yeah, the required successes goes up. I am all right. So difficulty of 5.
Yes.
And submit. Okay,
Beautiful.
so 6 successes.
Amazing. Excellent.
Nice
So that
job.
gives you protection against the fire and spirit spirit attacks. That'll give you 6 soak each on that.
Okay.
So that's good.
Okay.
Alrighty. Have you do that, Lucia? What are you doing?
Besides just staring stunned,
Yeah.
I think feeling or sensing Inea's protection being called. I think Lucia would kind of follow along with that. Can we tell? You said sorry. I have a rote that's manipulate gauntlet.
Yes.
And you said this was on both sides of the gauntlet?
Yes.
Is there any possibility of trying to shove it back through to the other side?
I mean, it is more difficult for a spirit to manifest itself when the gauntlet rating is higher. So you could strengthen the gauntlet, but it's already kind of manifested here.
Yeah.
So that may not have an effect. That being said, you could attempt to push or bind or in other ways affect a spirit, in which this is certainly in that category. This actually, from your perspective, this does not look all that different than an angel.
Except it's screaming about killing people.
Well, I'm sure
but
some angels have done that in the past as well.
Yes. That's true.
The situation in which Lucia and Inea met, for instance.
I mean...
full circle.
Yeah. We're not going to process that right now. Let's try and add another layer of binding to this spirit on top of the hula hoop.
Okay.
That's going on.
Yeah. How? What are you concocting to try and add to this binding?
Lucia has little crystal bracelets that she has wired so they're half technical scientific channeling. I haven't thought through how to describe this, you can tell. They're basically channelers to help her manipulate Prime and the dimensional abilities that she's been working with.
Okay. So, you already have the creature's already there. So this is the second half of that, of trying to kind of create a cage of some sort. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll Arete +2, difficulty 6. And it is vulgar, so you will take paradox if it's successful. That is my cat.
Sorry, what did you say the DP mod was?
2.
Okay.
Mizu has opinions about this.
He does.
And the difficulty was 6?
Yes. Normally it would be, this is vulgar no matter what, so yeah, it's gonna be 6.
Alright. That's 1 success.
Yeah. So you go through your motions to try and bind this creature, and you've done this with what you feel are, spirits and other angelic or non-angelic beings. You would never try to do that to an angel, but in this case, you attempt this, and we'll say she immediately senses your attempt and lashes out against your attempt to bind her. She is going to use a charm. Ah, yes, here we go. Spirit charms are so interesting. I have this one listed because it's in the book, not the guide. Here, it's here. Here we go. Okay, yeah, you feel you've got you said these were like little crystal bracelets, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
The metal bindings on those sear in your skin, and it starts burning into your flesh. You take 2 points of lethal damage.
How does that spirit shielding soak that?
That is true, now that you've reminded me. So, yes, I will say, yeah, because I usually half the soak. So in this case, you don't take any damage. You do still feel the pain, however.
Yeah.
So no damage, but very painful. Good job,
That's
Inea. Thank you
scary.
for reminding me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for protecting me.
Moving on.
This is an Inea thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was like, that's kind of our pattern so far.
I also got to make sure I'm tracking. Excellent. Next, who's next? Oh, yes. So, as you do this, bolting from the stairs, the door opens, flings open, and you see Jezebel and Killian run up and now are staring at this fire and this woman with obsidian skin, and Inea and Lucia kind of hiding behind a vent.
Jesse!
Hi, it's so good to see you. What the fuck is this thing?
Fire elemental, and it's pissed. Get down.
Yep. Get down, Killian.
Well, can I do perception and investigation as a free action?
I will let you do your. What are you looking for?
Well, first off, I want to look to see if I recognize what both of these creatures are. First off, and then secondly, if they're able to be reasoned with.
Okay.
Like if I know what they are, then I would know the latter. You know.
So this sounds like it's just a straight up mind effect. You're just trying to kind of read their mental state. That makes
Sure.
sense? Yeah, so go ahead and roll Hegarty.
Okay.
This is difficulty 5.
Whoops. I think I messed up here. Hang on. All right, Hegarty. And
Actually,
no
I
DP5.
retract that. Difficulty is 7 because it's a mental effect and it's against their willpower.
Can I go ahead and add from my difficulty pool?
Yes. You
knock
can,
it down to
lower the
5.
difficulty by up. And in terms of a spell, you could use 3 of the 5 that you have if you wanted, or less.
How many successes would I need?
Good question. It's a. Let me double check the mental effects here. I'll say it'll require 2 successes.
Okay, I use 3. I'll use 2. Knock it down to 5.
Okay, difficulty 5. That'll do it. All right, 3 successes.
Perfect.
You reach out with your mind and you stare into the eyes, the yellow eyes of this burning woman, and you get nothing but anger, hatred, sadness, loneliness, and you hear some of her thoughts of not only what she screamed, but you know, the thoughts of confinement and degrading servitude.
Okay. All right.
And she is lashing out in retaliation to that degrading servitude. She still has a lot of hatred for everything else in the world as well.
Is it possible for me to make her chill out, like the channeling Chong thing?
You can try.
Oh, yes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's see how powerful
Jesse.
channeling Chong can be.
Jesse's gonna spark a doobie and channel Chong, big boy.
Chong is
That's what's
pretty powerful.
happening. Chong is pretty powerful. You're not wrong.
This is why I don't leave the door open, buddy.
Izu has things to say.
Cammy's not here. Why are you here by yourself this late at night? That doesn't make sense.
Difficulty 5. 2 successes required. Oh no. Oh shit.
Okay.
Yes.
It's one of those days. Let's see.
I mean, the city is exploding around us, okay?
I mean, the worst that can happen is I spark a doobie and nothing happens.
With the wind,
Oh, it's against her willpower. Okay.
Your own personal chill factor rises, you know?
Actually,
That's
this
right.
particular.
But not as much.
So, spirit entities have different traits. They have willpower, but they also have rage and gnosis, etc. And this was against her rage. Because, you know, that made sense.
Right.
Unfortunately, you go through the motions, you spark it up, and you blow the smoke in her direction, and it reaches her and engulfs, and you see it kind of surround her and try to bring down her anger, but it just, you see that she does not respond to it at all. She is far too angry. Hey, buddy.
All right. Is it possible to use my incredible charisma and empathy and see if I could calm her down? Because right now the elemental is still bound, right?
It is still currently staying in the position being held by the hula hoop.
Okay, so yeah, I want to try to use empathy and charisma.
Okay, so you're gonna try and approach it. That's your next action?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, I'll have my weapons out to the side, like in the non-threatening position held by the actual rings,
Okay.
to let her know that I'm not approaching as a threat.
All right. Yeah, we will let that be for the next round going around.
Okay.
Let's see.
There's so much to keep track of here.
So
I'm glad it's not me.
Right?
Rhenard. Oh, this is nothing. What are you talking about?
Yo.
What are you up to? What are your next plans on the Zeppelin?
I am not 100% sure. I am kind of trying to play while dealing with some real life stuff going on.
Understood.
So I'm a little distracted, but
You are on a Zeppelin with
yeah.
a multitude of scientific and metamagical equipment that is hovering above a building with a fire elemental that
Sure.
your mage allies are trying to engage.
Well,
what comes to mind for you?
The first thing is just if I can use let's see, some kind of is there a way that I could get some kind of aid from on the ship down to the people that need it in the battlefield? Like whether this is like information or like a cannon shot at this thing or something.
It's your will and your imagination that would shape this. What are you looking to do?
I don't think I want to do anything too destructive, but information is always a good tool to have. So are there any? I mean, I don't know exactly what this Zeppelin that I'm in can do, but can it do anything that is gonna allow me to I guess just gather any useful information about this thing that I could pass on to the
Certainly.
Yeah.
You have access to all this equipment, technology and science, to try and read any of the information from it and run it through the computers on board.
I'm good at science.
You could have your so go ahead and roll a let's say wits and science and see if you can pull something together. I would say let's do that.
All right, what difficulty?
Difficulty with this information, I'd say difficulty 7. It's got a little bit more than average.
Wits and science. Nope. Dice are not with me tonight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the equipment's unfamiliar to you. It's not your preferred style or even equipment. It's not in your wheelhouse, so to speak. You're doing your best to try and understand and kind of read the settings, or sorry, the readings that are coming through. It's like in a language you half understand, and so you're not able to really put together any type of coherent plan on that.
Well, I tried.
You tried, and that's what counts. Okay, so we've got your plan there. You know what Killian's about to do. All right. So, Carl and Vesper, what are you two guys up to?
All in it.
You've got a couple more
Carefully.
stories to descend, and the path is treacherous.
Yeah, just trying to use the grappling hook to escort Carl down.
He's in lead, and I'm following
All right.
while directing which way to go.
Yes, I will have both of you give me. Well, are you doing anything other than just physical, trying to get to the location at this point?
Trying to go down.
Okay, so we'll take you down a couple more stories here. Let's say, it's still an athletics and dexterity or strength. I'll let you choose which one you want on these going down.
Difficulty 6.
Yes.
I'm fine.
You said dexterity and athletics.
If you prefer that, yes. You look like you got the same in both, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. And the difficulty's still 6?
At this point, yeah. Two successes. All right, yeah. Both of you make 2 successes. You needed at least 2. You get down another couple floors, and you see this large, maybe 2-person wide crack that the metal from the antenna has ripped right through. And you look down and you see this. The room itself doesn't seem too remarkable. Kind of your standard apartment, low rent place. But on the walls, you see different metaphysical and mystical symbols and charts, and you see a couple of pedestals with that have see one that has a kind of a coin, a gold coin on it. There's let's see my notes here. Memory, why you fail me? You see in the center of the room a large, like 1-foot diameter crucible, ceramic crucible. Arcane symbols all around the ground, on the floor, painted onto the. It's kind of there's no carpet. The carpet's been ripped out. They actually put down some hardwood. And then yeah, you see those 2 things on different pedestals, and then you see a 3rd pedestal, but nothing's on it, and on the ground is a kind of a canteen-sized crystal that is shaped into kind of a flask, and there are arcane symbols etched into it, and there is lead filigree all around it. And around the edge of the flask's head, and there is a crystal stopper that seems to have fallen off.
Is the tether coming from that container?
Yes.
So I look at Vesper and I say, well, I mean, you see the room and you see that, but it looks like the tether is actually coming from that bottle.
Okay. Is this like a take things off the pedestal? Are we redoing a ritual? What do you? This is more your expertise, maybe.
I'm not necessarily sure, so let me think about this.
Can I just, while Carl's just thinking, can I just start investigating the stuff that's on the walls?
Absolutely. Let's see. When you're looking down, you're not quite close enough to see anything specific, but roll your, let's say, perception and I'll say academics. I'll be generous. It's maybe something that you read in a book somewhere.
Difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
Still 2s.
All right, 2
Stay
successes.
consistent.
So looking around at the various things on the ground, you recognize that a lot of the symbology here is, it looks like it's Aramaic, and you also see a couple things that maybe look at least to your recollection, seem like it might be Greek or those type of symbols. On the wall, you definitely see a chart that looks like the tree of life, with the seraphs and those 11 spheres interconnected. And you get a sense that this is definitely a mystics hangout. It isn't technological at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I've gathered is that this is not my wheelhouse. But I'll go down and take a peek and see if I get ambushed, and then you can look and think about it in a second, Carl.
Okay.
Sounds good. We'll leave that for the next round. Carl, you were doing one other thing here, right?
Yeah. I want to see. Can I? I want to figure out how to, since this thing is tethered to that, and that, to me, just off-site, just kind of looks like a containment unit. Like, a la Ghostbusters. So I was wondering if I could empower myself to increase my mental attributes while using positive thinking to figure out how I can get the genie back in the bottle.
Okay. Yeah, you can combine the two, but it would be a road at that point. So you could just roll your arete to get both those effects.
Okay.
So you're sacrificing the roteness of them, but yes, you can definitely get the effects of both in a single roll.
Okay.
It'll require 2 successes, I think. What was it? Power self was 1 positive thinking. Yeah, it'll require 2 successes to get the effects.
Okay, so the DP mod is still 0.
It'll be 0.
The difficulty of
this is a self-mental effect, so it's going to be yeah, the difficulty is going to be 4.
Difficulty is going to be 4.
You can, of course, spend willpower to get an automatic success, or you could just get 3 successes and just do it like that. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You increase your mental attributes. Which ones are you raising?
I'm sorry?
So, with the Empower Self, you can temporarily raise your mental attributes. With the 3 successes, you can spend 2 of them towards raising intelligence, perception, or wits by 1 or 2.
Probably my intelligence, because I want to, like I said, I want to try to see if I can put the genie back in the bottle, or figure out if there's a way that we can put the genie back in the bottle.
Okay. And so you're going to spend the turn here trying to get some additional insight. So I'll say that when you do your roll, your next roll to think about this, it's going to be a DP mod of 3 because of those 3 successes.
Gotcha.
And that's going to be next round as you consider this, as you take in the information and you start thinking about, how do I do this?
Right.
Okay. Alright, here we have Inea and Lucia. We'll go this way. Actually, no. First up, Professor Lucas. I'm sorry, I almost forgot about you, sir. What are you doing now? You've seen this onyx-skinned woman burning on the roof of this building, and she's screaming how she's going to destroy all you damn dirty apes. What are you doing?
Professor Lucas is going to get a little spiritual here, so to speak.
Oh.
And he's going to go back in to the back of the car. He's going to pull out another hula hoop.
Okay.
So there's already a hula hoop. If you were to see an image, this is the plan he's drawn out. You've got your creature. You've got your hula hoop, which has sort of secured it. He's secured where it's at, right? He's going to launch a second one to the top with the intent of he's going to go ahead and this, in terms of the gauntlet, he wants to rend the gauntlet and basically stuff it back where it came from.
Okay, so you're gonna do a little additional dimensional science and try and like rip open a gateway into the gauntlet, just push this creature into it.
Yep. With the trigger point being between the two hula hoops.
Okay, yeah. Let's say.
They don't call me the professor for nothing.
Indeed, you are the Egon Spangler of this whole thing. I will say. Yeah, with the use of Vicky and loading up the hula hoop, and I'd say this is a improvisational thing that you're doing, but this will be an arete roll. It is definitely vulgar, so if you succeed, you'll gain paradox. But you can, with your study of ether dynamics and the etheric and mimetic knowledge that you have of spirit of the gauntlet, you can certainly try and rip a hole into the weakened gauntlet. Difficulty is going to be 7, and you can roll your arete. You can spend a willpower to get an automatic success, and you can spend quintessence to lower the difficulty.
I've got some willpower to spare right now, so let's just say I did it.
Okay, so you spend 1 willpower for 1 success. And are you going to spend any quintessence? Basically revving juice, ether, metaphysical ether through Vicky.
Yes.
How much? You can spend up to 2.
I feel a sense of urgency, so I'm going to say 2.
Okay. So spend the 2. So now the difficult. So roll your arete. Difficulty is now 5, and you already have 1 success. I keep waiting to hear the sound of your dice rolling. You don't have that turn.
I just heard the sound of that's weird. When I roll them, normally I don't hear it, but I see it. And this time I heard it, but I don't see it.
No problem. I'm not going to worry about it. 3 successes, it looks like. So, that is... Let me see if that's going to be. It should be. I want to double check. This is more of a mighty feat. This is more difficult than a standard or even impressive feat. So you're going to need 2 more successes, but you can keep the effect going. So for the next turn, as you're trying to rip the dimensional gauntlet apart, you're still mid-cast. A solid group of successes. That now leads us to Inea and Lucia.
Inea is potentially going to throw a monkey wrench in all of these people's intent.
Mm-hmm.
Because now that she's got an eyeball on that shadowy tether,
Yes.
she has a spirit enchanted knife in her hand. She would like to cut that tether.
Okay. So you run forth towards this fiery woman, and you find the tether. Go ahead and make a... Let's see. You already have the knife imbued, I believe.
Yeah, that's
So
after she had to
let's-
throw the last one away. She redid one.
yeah, so dexterity plus martial arts, DP mod 4. Because, yeah, you're a badass.
She is really focused right now because she would like to not get burned. And difficulty is
Difficulty is 6.
here we go. I have 3 successes.
3 successes. And
I didn't see if there were any 10s involved because it
there's not.
stole my dice away.
It would be blue if there were, but there's not.
Okay.
However, the tether itself is strong, and your knife just bounces right off of it.
Damn.
The woman in fire laughs at your pathetic attempt. You stupid dreamwalker. Lucia, what are you up to?
I'm muted.
You might be muted.
I might be. Thank you. I think Lucia is just trying to follow what Inea is doing, and if she gets pushed back, catch her.
Okay. So you're there as support. Like I said, Inea ran out there and attacked the tether. What are you up to? Like, when you say support her, what are you doing to support?
I mean physically, literally running after her and
Okay.
trying to, if she gets burned, pull her away.
Gotcha.
Sort of
Gotcha.
plan.
All right. You are effectively going in, and you are actively shielding Inea. Got it. You're both got your own metaphysical shields going at the moment, so that is quite impressive. Now we come back to Killian and Jezebel.
Back on the scene. All right. So Jezebel and Killian have the mind link going on, right?
Mhm, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so that being said, you gathered the same information that I did when I touched her mind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You are both aware that she is angry.
And she's enraged at the fact that, well, one, she's mad at the world, but two, she's pissed at the fact that she's been captive and in servitude,
Degraded and enslaved. Yeah.
all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna approach her slowly, guns out to the side, right? By the hoops just dangling off my fingers. And basically, again, I want to make sure that Jezebel is getting everything that I'm getting when I'm talking. So hopefully she can tell me if there's anything coming up behind me or whatever to where I need to run my ass off. But I'm gonna talk to this entity.
Okay.
And try to calm her down. In which case, like I said, I want to use charisma and empathy, which is where's my empathy at? 2 and 5.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your charisma and your
That's it.
empathy to see if you can reach through the centuries of anger.
6. And do I have to set a variable target number, or do I just roll?
That would be the difficulty, so you would set that at 7.
All right, I want to use my 3 points, my 3 points that I got left.
Okay, yeah, so that'll bring it down to 4, and that'll take all the points out there.
All right. That did not roll, did it?
Let's see.
6, 4. There we go.
Oh, I see. The first one you rolled.
I rolled it and then it didn't do anything.
Yeah, no.
We're showing up a little weird too. I don't know what's up with that. Because we're just getting the little box with the number in it instead of the big one with the name and everything in it.
Yeah, Brian's using the standard dice pool roll.
I just did, yeah. Was that bad?
Oh, okay.
You can use the buttons on the character sheet, and that makes a easier to read roll.
Oi. All right. Let me do that. All right. You change the dice number, right? No.
Yeah, you can change that to from intelligence to charisma. You can change academics
got
to
you.
empathy.
Yay. Boom. Okay.
Then when you click on the word dipole 5, that'll bring up the button. You can add. You lower the you can change the difficulty from 7 to 4, and that would be about no dipole.
All right. Empathy, charisma, dice pool 5, right? Well, it should be 6.
DP mod 0, difficulty 4.
All right. 0, 4. Submit.
Four successes. Okay.
Yay. Okay. Yay, math.
She.
So when I approach her, I'm saying, "Oh, well, I need to wait till she goes. Is she gonna burn me?"
Yeah. Go ahead. You could say whatever. I just got the results.
That does not bode well. All right. So yeah, as I'm approaching, I expressed to her and I said, "Look, I understand, the rage and the hatred and all that right now, but I want to let you know there's another way to handle this, right? I'm apologizing now for the foolish attempts of my friends, but you're out now. You can stay out. And we didn't put you there, but at the very least, let us try to make this a better situation for you. I don't have any desire to destroy you. I just don't. I just don't want to get burned.
You don't want to get burned.
No.
How can you, pathetic, short-lived ape, come to me and say that you can make it all better?
Well,
You have no concept of what my imprisonment has done. You have no concept of the inequities my people have suffered at the hands of those like you, Vizier.
I can say this.
You want me to stand down? You want me to calm down? Well, how about this? I want you to burn.
I completely
And-
understand that. But before you destroy me, would you not give me an opportunity to present you with another option? Something that could begin the healing process? Because as of now, you are consumed by rage. And when you actually burn me, my suffering will be over. But you will continue to suffer and rage and sorrow for all of eternity. I want to prevent that. I'm just here for a moment, a blink in the eye of your existence. Yet I'm here trying to help you. Whereas I have nothing to benefit from that than my continued existence, however short-lived. Will you allow
However
me to try to
short-lived
assist you?
is indeed correct. And she throws a ball of fire at you. Jezzy, you are in the same general area as well.
So
I'm going to give you an opportunity to do whatever you need to do before this fireball comes crashing toward both of you.
All right, Killian, I got two options. The first is me trying to get her to like leave by making her think about leaving and just disappearing. The second is a Kamehameha.
Oh, both of those sound very funky.
They're fun. They're fun.
I know they are quite fun, right? I'm particularly fond of the Kamehameha, but
that's a favorite of mine.
yeah.
It's a good one.
Well, let's see here.
Because I know you're
Oh,
trying to go
boy.
the diplomatic route, but also
Well, look,
big fireball headed our way. So
I know that's true. At this point, all I need is a dodge to keep working on it, but I don't know if I'll be able to manage that because I feel as though I am particularly close at this point.
That Kamehameha has saved our butts a lot.
Yes, it has.
and it is time for it to save our asses yet again. That's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
Okay.
Kamehameha her.
Roll
Okay.
your Arete plus Prime, difficulty 6, and you will be taking Paradox for
Take it.
that.
Okay, and I have to spend one quintessence as well. Arete plus prime. Prime is 3.
Yes.
Difficulty 6. And I'll mark the quintessence off first. Did I roll it?
6. Okay. Let's see if that matches up to...
And I take one paradox, right?
Yes.
Ooh, me no likey.
Okay, so she is going to try. Okay. I know what she's doing. Gee. Okay. In classic anime video game style, you release your Kami High as she releases her ball of fire. It is running towards both of you, and it meets just 3 feet in front of Killian and they both stop each other's energy, neither getting any purchase upon the other.
Beautiful. That was the plan.
That's some Street
That was
Fighter
it.
shit. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Okay, so now what? I mean, I could go. I could go violent now, but I need
She
a turn.
started it.
She did,
No.
but come on. Her whole life
Certainly
sucked up to this point, and now she
I
mad.
get it. I get it. And we love to rage against the machine, just not against me, you know?
Not
I
against you
know,
and your friends, not at all.
feel like we can
Her,
reach it.
her situation is a reason for her anger. It is not an excuse to try and burn down what's left of the city.
I agree.
That part. That
agree.
part. Wake it up.
How about this though? If we can imagine. Right now, these creatures stand against us. But with a few honeyed words, perhaps they will stand at our side.
That would be pretty sick.
You know,
got-
it
I
would
got
be
Yes.
I got something
That
up
would
my
be-
sleeve, but I need at least a round to get.
okay. Well, I think
Next
we've
round's
probably
coming.
got it
We're
at this
around.
point.
Moving up.
We can get you around.
We're
All right.
moving up. Let us go with.
Can I just point out that based off this attempt that's about to happen, that makes me ultimately feel like a bit of a dick compared to what I'm about to attempt to do.
Yes.
You know what, though? We did not have time to coordinate this shit, so
None
whatever
of it's
happens,
coordinated.
Oh,
Y'all are
it
working
happens.
kind of all on your own. But
It's cool.
as long as she stops trying to burn the city down, Nay doesn't care.
no.
I mean, at least by now everybody's out of the building, unless they're just stupid, you know. We want to see, you know.
Lots of fireworks going on, but nobody's failed or did any botches. There's no paradox that's being thrown around here yet, so that's cool.
I dislike that you remember to include the yet there. That
Yeah, naturally. That's how I do all things. All right, let's see. I got Vesper and Carl. Let's go with you. You guys are both at the bottom apartment, basement apartment. Descending into it. It doesn't seem like there's anything preventing you from going in. And Carl, you were about to try and figure out what to do with this container.
Right.
Go ahead
So-
and roll intelligence plus enigmas with a DP mod of 3. Difficulty 6.
Intelligence enigmas, a DP mod of
3
3,
from your earlier rolls.
and the difficulty is still 6.
Yes. Okay. 5 successes. You've read a few books in your time, and you start putting the pieces together that this almost looks like Aladdin. There's like a genie vibe here. You're not quite sure, but you think maybe you could just suck the genie back in the bottle by stopping it.
All right, so I kind of look at Vesper and I said, well, I pick up the lid and I said, you think I should give it a try? Maybe it's as easy as that. I don't know.
Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it in case of backlash? It's up to you, but I'll trust you.
Okay. I put the lid back on the...
Okay. We'll come back to that. Vesper, you're in the room. The cork has been applied. Nothing seems to be happening yet. What would you like to do in this space while you're here?
Just want to take a look at the other things that are on the pedestals to see if there's anything unique. You said a coin, but is it like a penny or is it like a Mario
You
coin?
look at it, and it looks like it is a solid gold coin, about the size of a quarter.
Okay. And then what was
Not
the other
as
pedestal?
perfectly shaped. It looks like it's been pressed manually.
Okay. And then there was what was on the other one? Because one of them was missing.
In the center, that pedestal has a 1 foot ceramic crucible with engravings along it and around the edges.
Can I tell like what language that might be from if I just give it a good old college try with academics?
The crucible, the symbology on it looks... You're not sure. Maybe Northern European, Pictish? Maybe
Yeah, that won't help me the
Norse?
slightest.
It's very, yeah, angular.
Well, it could be Norse because like the world tree and all that.
Well, you saw a tree of life. That's a little bit more,
Yeah, sort of that way.
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, they all crisscross.
Yeah, sure. The Kabbalah is completely like, drill. Anyway. And I'm
my
breaking
vast
Cindy. I love
understanding.
it.
Yes, you have just. Oh god, that's like protein powder in the coffee. I can't.
No. But Vesper would think these things. That
Yeah,
makes sense.
like, Vesper has no real understanding of like the mythology and stuff. It's just kind of like I recognize it, like, oh, it's probably from this place, but it's like, what does it mean? I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't think Vesper's got anything here.
So,
Okay.
when I put the cork on the thing and nothing happens, right?
Nothing immediately happens now.
Okay. So I'm just kind of like looking around the room. How we got into the room, would you say that the symbols and stuff got destroyed when the room was breached?
There seems to be a correlation between the physical breaking into the room and the subsequent events that have happened.
It was trapped in here and it got freed by the power.
Right.
Well,
It's my
there was a
random
protection
assumption.
in the room. You would know,
Yeah.
Carl, like the warding effects that you give to a sanctum or a room.
Right.
To prevent people from noticing it, but it doesn't necessarily prevent random acts of violence against it, and that
Right.
ward could break. And if that ward broke, then that could also cause things to fall off their pedestals, that sort of thing.
So that's because there's nothing else that's like lying on the ground, so we'd assume that is the thing that needs to go on the pedestal, and then we need.
I mean, there's quite a bit of debris on the
Avada
ground,
Kedavra.
but nothing quite as significant as that flask.
All right, you want to put that flask on there and then go, Baba, yeah, I don't know.
So
I
while
go-
you're
I
here,
go-
Put the flask back on its pedestal.
Lucas.
I put the flask back on its pedestal.
Okay. Professor Lucas, you are in the middle of making an attempt to rip the gauntlet open to push this entity through it. And basically push it into the other side. You can spend another willpower, and you can spend 2 more quintessence if you prefer. The same difficulties apply, so Arete with the difficulty of 7, unless you spend that quintessence.
I will spend the quintessence.
Right on. So difficulty 5, roll your Arete. Okay, not bad. You got 3. Did you spend willpower on that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
If I
So
did
that's
not say
4.
it, that was my intent, so I'm going to keep to what my intent was. Yes.
Okay, so total 4 successes on top of the 3 that you already have brings you to 7 successes. So you, through the hula hoops that are holding the creature and tethering it to Vicky, you rev the engines, and the dimensional barrier between the Umbra and the material world rips apart. And to all onlookers, it is like watching paper tear, but it's happening in midair, and it's revealing the truth of reality behind it. And this would be frightening and disturbing to both Inea and Jezebel if they hadn't seen this happen before. So it's just another Tuesday, I suppose. But this now gives you an opportunity to push this entity further or into that space.
Is it a day ending in Y? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you'd like to do, Professor Lucas?
Oh, I think I've done enough damage at the moment.
Okay. So, the ebony woman cries out and looks down and through the building to Carl. She says, "No, you will not take my freedom away." And at that moment, you see on the other side of the gauntlet, the raging fire that is her spirit begins to drain, and you see it starting to drift and fall down towards the basement. Inea and Lucia, what are you up to now that you see this physical being, her fire being starting to diminish, standing in front of this open portal gateway?
There's such a thing as like spiritual shove.
You have the ability to touch and hit spirits, so yes. But she is materialized as well.
So she's like very hot.
She
And not in a good way.
Yes, either way.
Lucia is not particularly physically strong. So I think the best bet is just, if we see an opening, let's shove her towards it. With something besides our hands, if possible.
Well, you do have 6 degrees of protection.
Yeah.
That might bolden your actions. I'm not saying it's not gonna hurt.
Oh, it'll hurt. But I mean, what else are we here for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. Just try and shove the enormous flaming lady into the big rip.
Okay.
All right. Well, when Nay sees Lucia heading for it, oh god, she's gonna go help.
Okay.
This is gonna suck.
Yeah.
I will have each of you roll your strength plus martial arts. With a difficulty of 6, since this is a pretty basic move.
I'm sorry, you said 6, correct?
Yes.
Well,
5 successes.
failures and 1 success.
0 successes.
Okay.
And 5. And so, Lucia, you try to push, but you're not really practiced at this. Even with 3 in martial arts, you're still not very strong, and you just kind of you do a pretty good push. I'm not going to say that you go you actually try to push hard, but Inea comes in much stronger and just goes in with a shoulder and does enough. So I'm going to say that 5 versus 3. Yeah, 2 additional points. So pushes the fiery woman into this rip in the gauntlet, and you see her physical form there as the fire and the energy that was her shrinks and shrivels, and eventually it looks as though she is consumed and turned into ash on the other side of the gauntlet, and all the power and all the fire and wind and anger siphons down below into the bottom basement of this apartment building, into the crystal flask that she was contained in previously.
Ow, 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 hot, 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 fuck, hot.
Yeah. It was hot, you felt it, it hurt, but the amount of energy that she had was dissipating, and your fire and spirit protection allowed you to touch her without taking any actual damage.
Okay, so does the rip remain, or has it also begun to close?
That's up to Lucas.
We'll close it.
Okay.
The car still looks like a helicopter to everybody down below, right?
No.
Except
In order
for-
for you to the illusion kind of lost its strength when you had to go through a hatch at the top of it.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise,
To
it would have
use,
been really weird. It's already weird, and yeah, protocols
There's a-
be damned at this point.
There's a vintage CB unit in the dashboard. It's right
Yeah.
below the 8-track.
Yes.
He grabs the mic and he broadcasts down below. Ladies and gentlemen, the gas leak has dissipated. You may experience some side effects.
Including hallucinations, etc. Yeah.
If you are experiencing hallucinations, seek medical attention. and I just sort of close it.
Okay. The ripping time space begins to mend, and at this point, you can all gather where Carl is. Carl, you are there. You've got the stopper in the bottle, and you can feel heat starts emanating from it, and it glows ever so slightly.
Well, it's starting to warm up. I'm telling Vesper.
Is that good? Is that
I'm hoping that it's good, but there has to be a better solution than this, because I mean, this fell on it and it literally just got knocked out. What if there was another earthquake? This is.
I think we can take it with us. I don't know like the idea of just having it on us though, and then we just kind of like trip and whoop, fire.
Yeah, right. Maybe we should ask the people who are a little bit more adept at this than I am.
Yeah, I guess we take it with us. Anything else in the room? I don't think the cold is worth taking. Maybe the coin because it's small. Might as well just bring it with.
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, you're just stealing from some other mage's
yeah,
sanctum,
what
sounds fair.
how bad could it be?
Well, the way I see it, this mage, this had to be temporary. It had to be, because
yeah.
if you're gonna put something like that in a bottle, and I understand that they warded the room and stuff like that, but again, we're having natural disasters. It literally just fell off of the thing in the cork pot.
Yeah.
In the cork.
Nick can't pause it
Yeah.
because she
I'd
hasn't
say-
seen any of this.
I'd say that at this point, they knew where the tether was going, so you were able to lead Lucia,
Well,
Alix,
think,
Jezebel and Killian.
yeah, I think Carl had even said he thought it was headed for the basement.
Yeah. So
So,
the four
yeah.
of you can get down there. I'll even say, Lucas, you can head down there as well.
I park in the alley, and Vicky looks like a police cruiser now.
Okay, so at this point, we're all
But
down.
But it's slightly off-looking. It doesn't look like a modern Impala cruiser. It looks like a Crown Vic cruiser, like
From 20 years
Seattle.
ago.
Seattle PD circa 1979.
Oh, God.
Police Academy movies. Got it. Okay. Waiting for Mahoney to get out. All right.
Mahoney.
Yes. All right. You find yourselves in this basement apartment that is seemingly devoid of any magical protections. Whatever wards may have been here were disrupted by tonight's disasters and the falling of a communication tower upon it. And indeed, as you go through the room, anybody, I guess, can make a intelligence or let's say perception and esoterica.
Oh, let me do that. I think
Or
I
I
got
can
both.
do that.
As
Actually,
you
no, I
investigate
don't
the
have
room.
Esoterica. I
Huh?
just have perception.
Esoterica?
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
lot
under
of-
knowledge.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
just
a
have
lot of things here in this room. The studio apartment doesn't have many luxuries. Kind of built-in kitchen and a separated room that's just a bathroom.
Difficulty
There's no
6?
bed. Yes.
So about 15,000 a month.
Yeah, in this area of Seattle.
Nay is a little tired, and that was hot. That was a lot of hot. God damn
I
it.
gotcha.
Jesse is raring
But
to go,
Jesse,
big dog.
she's got 4.
Probably got burned
Anybody else
again.
wanted to roll at it?
I give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, so it's perception and esoterica, which I have 0
Yes.
of.
Pretty sure that was my problem too.
I mean, Jessie studies a lot of weird shit, so
Hey, she grew up in a library, for crying out loud.
a library at a hippie cult.
What's the difficulty?
6.
Wee. Okay.
Vesper just like slips off and goes to the bathroom real quick and just lets everybody else sort it out. Like,
Makes
yeah,
sense.
y'all got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you see a lot of Eastern influence, little Middle Eastern vibe in here as well. All over the place. You've got this kind of bowl, this crucible, Jesse. You look at the crucible and you're like, yeah, this looks. I mean, Charlie would love it because it looks like a kind of an old verbena sort of Northern European crucible. And you can feel the primal magics baked into it. It looks like it would assist in crafting wonders and the like. You move around the room more and you see that the charts on the walls are, it's not the normal tree of life that you're used to when you look at the Sephiroths on it. It's actually, it has different names listed and you're not familiar with those names, but it's the same structure. You move around again, you notice that all the drawers and all the cabinets and anything that would hold stuff is actually barren. And you look at the pedestal with the coin on it, and you can see that the coin is handcrafted and pressed, and it is heavy, and there is a face on one side, and there is a symbol that you don't recognize on the back. And finally, the third pedestal in the room is the flask, the crystal flask, and it's creating its own heat and a small glow. There is iron filigree, and it looks like none of the etchings or the filigree itself is broken, and there's a stopper. And your own knowledge, you remember hearing about, and you've seen legends of, Arabian Nights and all that this does seem like this would be a bottle that would contain a genie. And you now have that bottle with you.
So,
and if you want to do more research upon that, of course, that's something that you can do.
Oh yeah,
because who wants to let the genie out of the bottle?
Nobody.
No,
nobody.
T-shirt, really, really good on letting the genie out of the bottle.
I would like
the genie out.
to put forth an option here. So the fourth ward has many rooms. And amongst all of us, I feel as though we can create a room, right, with similar wards in order to keep this for now. But I feel as though putting my own life here on the line, I think she could be reached. And I actually had a point that I was going to do before she ended up putting it back in the bottle. Because one, because I'm extremely forgetful, and I just realized I had something that could have been really badass to use earlier. But I can use that. I can use that in a situation where, one, we have her in a room where she can't necessarily escape out of when let out of the bottle. But two, I could actually go in and talk to her without any risk of dying by fire.
You say these things, and Jezebel, you, with your knowledge that you say, you recognize that unlike from what you've heard, other spirits, Jinn are not susceptible to many of the same bargaining tricks or spirit abilities that someone like Cindy would be, or Inea would be capable of. There was a very specific code, the Code of Solomon, that was crafted by an ancient mage that discovered how to influence and control, and whether they created the rules or they discovered the rules is still unknown. But you don't know of any modern mage, specifically not Killian, that would have the correct knowledge to contain such a being if it were to be freed.
So I'm gonna just divulge that.
Yeah, almost
And be
directly
like-
right into his head.
Like, yeah, literally right into your head, because we still have the Discord voice chat.
Yeah.
So, like, all of the information I have is just flooding to you. And I will add, I understand that you want to reason with her, but she is unreasonable. So, for
Does
now,
not work by human logic at all.
yeah, not at all. So, since we have her contained, let's keep her contained.
So
It's
And
completely unreachable?
pursuant to
at
that,
this precise moment, with the knowledge that we have, yeah,
I don't think that's gonna change unless something changes.
so pursuant to, I mean, what we have here is pretty clearly a mage's sanctum of some kind that has been breached by a falling communications tower.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Natural causes.
yeah, you really can't plan for that or ward against it. Not really. Tim, I have a question for you
Within
because I
reason.
may or may not be remembering correctly.
Okay.
Nay has met Killian before, hasn't she?
Yes.
Okay, that was in like a year and a half or 2 years
It was a
prior
while
to this.
back. Probably, yeah. It was.
The installation, the art installation at the.
Yeah, it was the art installation at the near midsummer.
So you would know where my head is, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, hi again, Killian. Nice to see you back in town.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I couldn't be under better circumstances.
I totally agree with you there. Wish it had been better. Do we all know each other? No, I don't. I don't know you, sir.
Actually, I do remember Killian.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. Carl knows
Good to see you
Killian
outside
from the
of the
digital
white room.
web. Jesse just met Killian. Inea, you know Killian when you first encountered the Owl Walkers for the very first time.
Very, very, very first. Before I even knew that's what they were.
Vesper, you don't know Killian, but you would know of him because he's been making waves in Seattle for the past 6 months with his basically propaganda campaign to make himself, the next coming hero of the Seattle homeless.
In official
And others.
channels, you know me as Killian, but
official channels.
unofficial channels, yeah, I would be the Waymaker.
Yeah, and there is
Vesper's definitely just sitting there too shy and awkward to introduce themselves. They're just like, everybody know each other? He's not. They're just nodding their head like.
and Professor Lucas, you don't know any of these people specifically. You're kind of off in your own adventures, though you do know of Jezebel and Inea through your contacts with Mark Cardassian and his boyfriend Charlie.
Yes.
Who you have worked a little bit with on the mycelial network theory that you have.
Okay. So we have some level of. I think that's close enough for the day that we've all had, because I don't think any of us has had a normal day.
no.
even remotely.
I am
Just
going
in the
to
mill.
posit that perhaps we should contact Mark.
Hi, what's up? As he walks through the door.
As ever, excellent timing, Mark.
That's pretty
Of
impressive.
course. Well,
The motherfuckers just keep popping in and out. Damn.
well, you know how it is, Carl. I can only be in like 6 places at once.
And he's very good at doing that. Yeah. So obviously what we have here is a breach sanctum. Whether it was inhabited prior to us, to the building being cut in half or whatever, I don't know, but that bitch came out of that thing and that needs to not happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the theater was operational, and I would bear to say that it's probably not at this point, given the tsunami.
Right.
We don't have a secure place to put this. These are dangerous artifacts, particularly.
How about
maybe
wherever it is that Malcolm is hiding?
Malcolm is kind of on vacation. I mean, he said he was going off-world and he was going to spend some time with Alice and, show her a good time. But that was last week. And it's, he may show up tomorrow. Who knows?
Can I give a ring to anyone that I can reach and be like, hey, we have anything figured out yet? We just still a mess?
The VDOS is completely disconnected. And all you get is the equivalent of a busy tone.
Yeah, right. Just give it to the one. Yeah. That's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Killian.
It'll be fine.
Killian,
We did it
please.
once. We can do it again. It'll be fine.
You gotta promise me. You gotta promise me that cork doesn't come out of that bottle.
I'm keeping the bottle.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
I'm
good
keeping
with
the
that
bottle.
one.
Sorry. Because I was thinking, what if is it Jacob or Jonathan? The Cascade Grove people.
Oh,
Joseph.
Joseph.
There we go. I knew it was some J name. Okay, we got
Alice's
there at
dad.
the end.
Yeah.
Yes, Alice's dad. Do you think? I know we're in the middle of a tsunami and travel is going to be a little bit difficult.
Well, but they're on
However-
the other side of the state, so. And we have a Zeppelin.
We do, and we also have a Mark.
And what about the hula hoop monster up there? Is he gone?
That she's in the bottle.
Mhm.
No, I mean, the other thing, the Ifrit.
That was
They were
Max.
the same
That
thing.
is
They
the
were all the
Ifrit.
same thing.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I figured that would be a, backup prize.
There is
There
Got a
was too
strong
much bidding going on
primal-
over there.
You're like looking
For
for
those of you
loot.
with-
That is so funny.
For those of you with primal vision or senses, there is strong primal energy coming from that gold coin.
Oh,
Right. So you mentioned the bottle, the coin, the poster, and what else?
The crucible.
The crucible.
Yeah, ceramic crucible about a foot wide.
so basically we gotta box up this whole room, not drop or open anything,
At all.
It's fair.
and get it to Eastern Washington.
Or somewhere that could be safe. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to go all the way out to Eastern Washington.
I mean,
Okay.
we could always take this stuff to Aunt Mabel.
So,
I was about to say, are you guys okay with Aunt Mabel's now?
next
know.
question for you, Tim. This
Right.
is-
Good conversation
what's
was
that
had
mean.
between Jezzy and Aunt Mabel, but
Good, but
And Nay hasn't seen Aunt Mabel since that whole shit went down. So,
Right,
There's
true.
that. So, I have to ask because Nay has been trying not to think about it. What does her place look like right now?
You're not near the coast. You're further south in the Federal Way area. From what you've gathered, you don't think that there would be anything happening in that area. Like earthquake, maybe, but
a communications tower is not going to fall on my duplex and rip it open.
You're not near any fault lines or anything like that. There is a giant crack in the ground outside the building here, but you know.
How far gone is the theater?
The Theater of the Mind? Considering that the entrance is at Pike Place, right on the waterfront.
It's probably under
20
feet of water right now.
All right, so since the theater is gone, can you not secure space? If provided?
I mean, I don't have any personal place. I mean, truth be told, I've been spending most of my days out with Charlie, so I don't really have anything prepared or set up.
Well, see, I have a place where you can set up a space.
That's
Mark.
You
are Mark, as a Sentinel of Seattle, I impeach you. Please assist us. We've got a Zeppelin full of homeless. We got more operations to do. We got people out there that need help. We can help scoop them up and bring them to you. And I know you've been working on that project for a while now.
Something about Jezzy was telling me something about a shelter.
So the squad is where I have pretty much based my operations, and as of now, we are taking in a lot of people who are in dire need of assistance. All part of what it is that we do. But seeing this particular situation, I would be remiss to simply turn an eye and my whole back on someone who's gone through this kind of suffering and has been for a very long time. Rage can be quelled. We just need to figure out how to do it.
Until we do, I'm not opening that bottle. Sorry.
You don't have to open the bottle right away. But we can
got
in a space that is secured by the powers that be, and we will have the opportunity to handle that versus someone else using it as an opportunity to blow us all up.
Well, I'm not planning on giving the bottle to anyone. It's staying with me.
People aren't going to accept you giving it. They're going to take it.
Jesse?
Would
you be comfortable boxing all of the shit up that's in this room? And we store it in my crawl space?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You can even take it there yourself. I don't even have to touch the box. And I will not touch the box.
The crawl space?
My thing
Mark says,
is...
I can help out with this, and I think we can get everything gathered up, and we can get it onto the Zeppelin or back to your place, however things work, and we can coordinate all our efforts here. We've got Zeppelin 22, we got the infamous Professor Lucas and Vicky here to help us. And
also, Professor Lucas, Vicky is amazing, and I would love to have a conversation with her. That said, Killian, what I am hoping you will do with this situation is help us empty the Zeppelin of the tent city that I was forced to install up there. I have a whole bunch of good friends that have nowhere to go.
Well, I'm pretty sure we have room. All whilst we were gone, of course, the work has continued, making it more suitable for aiding folks. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind assisting.
Appreciate that a lot. Khan will be so happy to hear that.
So still no flexibility on this flask, vial.
Not at this time. You check back.
I feel as though I'm
fighting for ancient artifacts. I love it.
It's more important to get the people taken care of than it is
the artifact.
mollify a fire elemental.
But I've been taking care of the people before the fire element, and I'll be taking care of them after the fire element.
Yeah, but
We can take care of them now.
Fire lady.
Nah. The fire lady will.
It's
will
the puppy
hold.
dog eyes for me. Like, yo.
Yeah, there's way too much eagerness and grinning over there, and no.
I'm simply a happy guy. We all know this already.
You know what? Yeah, you're fabulous. Still not. No.
I don't understand.
One of the questions, like, if you're gonna do the fire, like, open it up, talk to the fire, is it gonna be near where we're now gathering all those people?
Well, that is
Is it,
why I was saying we should use the powers that be to create a holding area where it's like, okay, we're going to let you out, we're going to talk to you, but we can't allow you out to destroy everything. So you are gaining your freedom.
So you take her from a cell and put her in a cell. I
No,
don't think that's gonna go over well.
This is the halfway house. Until you are suitable for introduction into society, we have to talk to you. And if we can't talk to you, there is no halfway house.
She doesn't belong here.
That
She
might
doesn't
be what it
belong
is.
here.
That
She
might
belongs
be-
on the other side of the veil, free,
Which
but
means
over there.
which
Is she free?
we can set her free over there. So maybe, okay, how about this?
That would work.
How about we get the people in the tent city taken care of, squared away, what have you. And then our next mission is to figure out a way to get across the veil, take her home, and set her free.
See,
This is what I am
that
saying.
sounds beautiful. I wasn't holding the people hostage. I was simply saying that this should be part of the equation.
No, it was like not making her a part of the equation, but she is a volatile agent.
Yes.
Very volatile at best.
I have no problem welcoming with open arms those who need help from the Fourth Ward knucklebangers. But afterwards, like you said, we can go across the veil and show her, look, we're not all monsters. And we're going to set you free over here where you won't blow us up.
Well,
I mean, that's fine.
Personally, I don't really care if she thinks we're monsters. I just don't want her to burn down Seattle.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Do
there ain't
that.
that much left of it anymore. We'll do that, but I want all of this uncontrolled
up,
shit. I want it
tagged.
boxed and controlled and put somewhere until that's not going to get busted open like a frickin' Easter egg.
And I'm
Again.
going to make sure that
Yeah.
each and every one of those guys gets nice Fourth Ward t-shirts.
Nice.
Gotta do that, Mark.
Yeah.
Interjects, he's like, this sounds all like really good stuff, and we can do all of this. Professor Lucas, will you be staying with the Zeppelin this evening?
This evening? No. I've got some arrangements that I've made.
Okay, so before you go, could you sign this for me? And he puts out one of your scientific research papers. It's like, I was really inspired by this, and I really, it would mean the world to me if you could sign this.
Not Mark the fanboy. Oh, we love
Danny,
to see it.
Signs off on the document. I remember this lecture.
I wasn't there, but I've seen the recordings. It is inspiring. Sir, you go off and have a merry adventure. I will help keep these other mages in check. But feel free to dock with the station anytime.
He has been holding what is clearly an original circa 1970 phone. The box, the antenna, you click it off with the doot doot doot. He's like, Vicky, meet me out front.
Professor, before you leave, is there any way that I can get in contact with you? And I pull out my cell phone. Do you have a number that I could possibly get back in contact with you with? Because
Certainly.
maybe later on, whenever somebody decides that we have the time to possibly let the genie out of the bottle, maybe we can contact you.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm
I go to
I'm more than happy to be of assistance.
Mark leads.
The phone number
rest-
is 0118 999 881 999 119 725
I would have thought it was
And if you get that,
8675309.
That was 0118
0118
999
999.
881
Say that again.
999 881 999 119 725
Holy crap. Okay, that's one hell of a phone number.
I can't believe you did that. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Lucas gets into his police vehicle and drives off. The rest of you are ushered back into Zeppelin 22 before the crowds and the police and the fire department all show up to evaluate the scenario.
Assuming they can.
The people that
You
seem to
know?
be displaced, you can definitely say, hey, we have this shelter, and you manage to get them onto the Zeppelin, including the Tent City people. Killian, when you come into the Zeppelin and you see the interior, and it's all very clean and it's kind of like a very upscale cruise ship in the interior. You also see Khan and Sabra and Cinder,
Hey.
whom you were trying to contact, all there.
Yeah.
As you help gather the entire group, you now have this amazing vessel that's taking all these people to your shelter, and we'll leave that journey for next time. And yay, you guys survived a freak. Exactly.
Wait, so
Cindy nailed it like in the first guess.
That's I'm sorry, that's the history nerd in me.
I understand. I started thinking about this and I was like, what is the challenge going to be? And it's like, it would be really interesting to have this moral dilemma of, release the slave and possibly destroy Seattle or re-enslave them, and all the different little possibilities in the adventure.
Temporarily, just can't have.
I don't know, see, just,
Figure it out later.
I don't think y'all got any plans on
You get a wild you get a wild wolf or something, like trotting through downtown Seattle. You box it up and you take it out where it belongs and you release it
And you set it free. Exactly.
Think about it for a while.
But here, having the 8 of you gather to affect this situation, and then end it essentially where you guys are all gathered with a centralized hub, means going forward, you guys can mix however you want. So it doesn't have to be all 8 of you at one time. But
Right. Do I
this is
get
the
to-
pinnacle of that pyramid that I started a couple months ago.
Hey, so do I get to tell Cinder, like, so you're moving in?
I mean, you can certainly approach that conversation next time.
Gotcha.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
I mean, the
Indeed.
cool thing is we'll literally get to be flies on the wall.
No.
Right.
Well, I hope you all had a good time.
Hell yeah. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
We're
We're
reaching
back,
the.
baby. Yeah.
Woo!
I will reach out to those of you who want to play werewolf, and we'll get something together for session 0. Like I said, a couple days I'm going to have that book in hand, and I'll be able to make plans based on that. So I'm excited. Thank you for being here. as always, I appreciate it so much. This was fun, and
Yeah.
definitely,
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of weird because it's only been like 4 episodes of this story arc, but it also had like 8 solo sessions prologuing it. So it's just I nerded out when I was like, I think I can make this happen. So thank you for helping making this happen. And I'm done. You guys,
team up moment, you know.
you guys on the East Coast, thank you as well.
Yes.
So
Yes, because it's
Oh yeah,
super late.
because it's late.
Now it's
Yeah.
considered early.
it's considered
Okay,
early.
it's
True.
it's so late it's rolled over into early.
This is normally
Woof.
not lunchtime.
Mm.
Oh my good gracious.
Oh no.
All that being said, y'all did wonderful. Thank you, and I hope you have a good night. I'll see you later.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
See you later.
Night.
Bye.